Black Book, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click that like button, click that share. Whoa, 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 whoa. Who ain't got the minerals, baby? You know about Fanta in a bottle. You know about Fanta in a bottle. Cool. So let's get into today's video. Man's a bit sticky there. We're talking about situationship. Sex is voodoo. Yes. I want to let you know from the very jump. Situationship is not good for your spirit. It's not good for you. Yeah. So I want to let you know. Listen, that every situationship at our age, let's say from 20 or so onwards, 18 even say onwards, yeah, always includes sex. Yeah, when you're younger and you're in a situationship, yeah, you can get tied up by words because you don't know the world that well. But as you're getting older, you will realize that any situationship that exists where there's no definement of what we are, but there's some type of behavior where we're getting somewhere, includes sex. Okay, the rest of those you're just talking, you're in a talking stage. It's not situationship. The situationship comes in when sex is included, because sex is an indication that we are being intimate above and beyond almost going into a relationship. There's that assumption that's added to your thinking of expectancy when you guys are having sex. So any real situationship will always include sex. Yeah, boom things. Now, if you're not having sex and you feel like you're in a situationship, hey, I'm not knocking it. All I'm saying is there's levels to this. You understand? Cool. Any real situationship is born out of a lack of discernment on your part. It's born out of a lack of definement on their part. It's born out of a lack of ignorance on your part, and it's always about taking advantage of a grey area that has not been defined as black and white, which is on their part. So I wanted to let you guys know that situationships exist because there are two stories. There are two sides of the story. There's your part you didn't play, and there's their part. So now if you watch my other videos on situationship, you know that I've said PEW, which basically means to state your position, I like you. What's your expectancy from that? Look, I want us to be in a relationship. And W is, what do they want? Now, when they state what they want and it doesn't meet your expectancy, then you know you can bounce. Do you understand? And you've done your job. Make sure you have this conversation early. Don't wait till 4 months in, you're having sex and then you're like, what are we doing? Like, you've waited too long. Like, get it done early, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to say a time limit. Get it done. Fine as well. Voodoo is like an ancient practice of spell binding and spell casting and spiritual possession and stuff like that. You know, all that kind of stuff. It's all that mysticism and magic, which is born out of potions and stuff like incanting and chanting, all that kind of stuff there. And why am I defining that similar to sex? And the reason why I'm saying that is because when you realize the power of sex, you realize when people abuse it, it is very much like voodoo. The way that it has the ability to influence and subject you to a certain type of reaction and behavior according to sex is why I call it voodoo. Alright? So that's what I'm saying the title, sex is voodoo. Alright, cool. So the very first thing I want to say to you is this. Sex is the biggest falsity of intimacy. What I mean by that? What I mean is that a lot of people confuse sex with intimacy. Now, sex is a part of intimacy, but it is not the totality of intimacy. In fact, you can get intimacy without sex. That's how Christians exist. So intimacy is just basically two people really getting to know each other, really diving into one another and removing the layers of vulnerability to reveal themselves to be naked. This is why sex is it's the physical manifestation of that intimacy. What's happened is, though, in our generation and past generations beforehand and those beyond, have actually used sex as a way to kind of show that I'm going to be intimate with you, but it's a falsity. So it's almost like you go and buy something on the internet, and then the parcel doesn't get delivered. Yeah. So that's what sex can do. It can present this false intimacy, and so when people have sex, there's an expectation and an assumption that, oh, we're intimate, we are vulnerable to one another. No, you've been vulnerable in your body, but not in your mind. So sex can be a great falsity in terms of being removing the layers that show you to be vulnerable, yeah, and show you to be intimate. That's why people get confused. Because we know there's something biologically in us, which I believe God has put into us, that understands that when you have sex, I'm becoming intimate with you. I'm becoming entwined to you. Hence why God also describes about, when he talks about adultery and idol worship, it's like, you know what, that worship, when you begin to worship, it begins to remove all the layers of you and become vulnerable to God. And that's what sex does. So a lot of guys, especially, I'm going to say it, when they're in a situation, when they're putting themselves in a situation with a girl, they intentionally initiate sex because it falsely promotes this intimacy. Why? That's why you're confused. And we'll come into that later on. Sex also has this ability to put on red roses, pink coloured glasses on, which makes everything seem more rosier than it actually is. Because, like I said, once you enter the sex fold, it goes into the intimacy level. The mind begins to think, okay, I've made myself vulnerable to this person. This person is great. Because for you, you've allowed that person into your inner chambers, right? So that you begin to put on these glasses, which that you begin to ignore the red lights, or I should say the red warning signs that say, listen, stop. You haven't found out this. And even when you're seeing them, because the glasses are pink, you just keep on going. It creates this kind of falsity that everything that the person is doing is great. Even when it's not great, even when you know it not to be great. Because what sex does, it taps into the emotion. And then the emotion overrides the logic. And so because your emotions are being confuzzled and being constantly attacked by sex, because in a situationship, you have to keep the sex going. That's how you keep it on. That's how you keep somebody in a situationship for a length of time. So every time your emotions begin to simmer down and logic begins to take fold, sex comes into play again. Have you noticed? Take notice of what's going on in your situationship right now. Notice it that every time you're about to bring up something, hey, like, hold on a minute, we haven't discussed this. Oh, let's not do it right now. Sex. Boom. Now you've forgotten what you were saying. Why? Because sex is like voodoo. Sex creates a high which we get addicted to. Okay? Now when you're in a situationship especially, situationships always seem to couple with secrecy as well. And one thing that you have to understand is, you have to understand your human mind, okay? Your human mind loves the game, okay? It loves the secrecy. It loves the underhandedness. You know what? Let me be honest with you. Some of my best sex was having sex when I wasn't supposed to have sex. Some of my best sex was when I was a Christian and I shouldn't be having it. Why? Because part of it is like, it's forbidden fruit. You have to sneak around. The adrenaline is pumping and running. This is why the sex is also good. The adrenaline is running and pumping. Okay, you can't tell nobody because you shouldn't be doing it, and you create this kind of fun dynamic and game and your own reality where only us two know, and we can't let them know. And part of that you get addicted to. You're addicted to that high. So when you guys are doing, you're sneaking around, hiding, not telling people, and then you come to the moment where it's just you and him. It creates this image again of only I know what he's really like. Or I only know what she's really like. And the truth of the matter is you don't know what they're like. Because if you did, you wouldn't be in a situation. They've got you in a situation because they understand, or there is the way they're behaving shows that they understand that this sexual energy and this sexual game that they're playing with you, where they're able to sneak around, keep you quiet, is actually addictive. It's fun. And so therefore it incites a bit of pleasure. And that leads me to our next point, which is we like roller coasters for a reason. The ups and downs, we love it. Yeah? I love this game. You love it. You love the roller coaster stuff. And that's why you're in a situationship. Part of you likes the roller coaster. Part of you likes when you're high and you come down and you can come back up again. It's like, oh, I never know what I'm getting from him. And yeah, because some of the time we're so broken, and we're so used to toxic relationships, and we've not seen anything better, and we haven't dealt with anything better. We haven't got a great experience of boys or girls, and so we don't know anything different. We assume that this roller coaster effect that we get in life, don't get it twisted, life makes you feel like you're in a roller coaster sometimes. We assume that's how a relationship should be. But the truth of the matter is, the highs are so far from the lows, that is dangerous. The highs and lows shouldn't be that different. Do you get what I'm saying? The highs and lows that you have, they create this buzz in you. Do you know what I mean? This, oh my God, like I never know where I stand. But when you watch it from the outside in, you're like, bruv, why are you accepting this? Because the person inside of it feels like they're on a roller coaster. It's like they're enjoying almost what they're experiencing. Even though there are lows, when there is a high, it's like there's a high. And it's almost like, you know what, when it comes to expectancy, when you've set your bar really low and someone exceeds that bar, how do you feel? Grateful. And that's the truth. That's how some of you are feeling. You're feeling grateful, right? Because that's how, beforehand, you were at bottom here and he takes you up. And tomorrow you'll be down there again, but the next week you'll be up again. And so it's like creates that effect in you that there's a slight tinge of excitement from that. Crazy, right? It gets confused with genuine love. I want you to understand, love is an action, okay? It's a conscious action. Love isn't the fuzzy-duzzy feelings, okay? No. Love is not the fuzzy-duzzy feelings. Let me tell you why it's not the fuzzy-duzzy feelings. The fuzzy dealings. I'm going to tell you why it's not the love and fuzzy dealings. Love in its truest form, when you want to see it in its truest form, okay, shows itself when the person offends you. It shows itself when the person is betraying you. It shows itself in when somebody, you've told them 10 times and they do it for the 11th time. It shows itself in when that person is very spiteful towards you. It shows itself in the moments which are negative, where you have to consciously show love. Love is easy to do. The Bible even talks about the fact that it's easy to love men who love you. It is easy. Love somebody who don't love you and see what happens. Love somebody who doesn't love you and see what happens. See if you really love that person. And so what happens is we confuse genuine lust and passion with love. We confuse that fuzzy feeling, that sexual feeling, that erotica, with actual love. No, sex is a shard, or eros love is a shard of that love. But it's not the love that you require in order to hold a relationship together long term. In fact, the Greeks even knew that, and that's why Greeks didn't really like the eros love in too tough. When I say they didn't like it, it doesn't mean they didn't want it, meaning that it wasn't the definitive in how a relationship should be held together. You get what I'm saying? It's important, but it's not going to hold a relationship together. It's not the glue. The glue here we need is agape love. You need that agape love, which is unconditional love, which will surpass when the person slaps you in the face and you can turn around and say to him, I love you still, which is what Jesus did for us. And so when it comes to a lot of relationships, a lot of people don't know the difference between lust, passion, and actual love. And that's why in their mind there's confusion. It's like, oh, I don't understand what's going on. You don't understand what's going on because the part that is responding to them is your flesh. It likes that. It likes the sex, it likes the craziness, it likes the madness, you know what I'm saying? It likes all of that incitement. But the truth of the matter is, when you get to know who God is really as well, you will truly understand what love is. The blue pill. And that's the linkage to the Matrix, where it talks about red pill, blue pill. The blue pill is that you just become naive to what's going on and you go back into your life. Sex makes you blind, okay? It's almost an intentional blinding. The person will use it as a way to throw you off the scent of what is really true. And so just as you're about to almost become like, what's that film with Jim Carrey where he's in a show? The Truman Show? Where he's in a show, and you know what, you have to almost become, you can see that you're in a show and like everything's not correct, but you then pretend to yourself, no, it's going to be alright. It's going to be alright. Why? Because when sex is injected, what tends to happen is, again, it tends to override the logic, and it begins to pump up the emotions. The emotions just want what the emotions want. The emotions don't, listen, if you let your emotions run you, yeah, it will kill you. Because your emotions, the way they feel, is different. You know what I'm saying? It's totally different. So logic has to prevail. So yeah, I just want to put that there as well. Relationships. Okay, we've got a big problem within relationships, which is that a lot of people are not whole. A lot of people don't understand love. A lot of people don't know what a relationship really should look like because of where they've experienced. And what happens is, somebody shows them a little bit of attention and they assume that's being wanted. They assume that they're being wanted for the correct reasons. But as we already know, as we're grown, as we've gone through life, we know that guys are pricks, especially. That they will show you desire and that they want you, but they don't want you. They want your body. You understand? And that's where a situationship normally kicks in. Do they want you or do they want your body? Now, when I even say, even do I want you, like a situationship can happen even when the guy's even talking about normal stuff with you. You can have the normal conversation, but he's still not going to give you the title. Why? Because at the end of the day, he doesn't want you. He wants you for what you bring. He doesn't actually want you. He doesn't care about you per se. What he cares about is what he's getting from you. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? And the truth of the matter is, in situationships, sex is fun. Sex is pleasurable. And if it's good sex, you won't stay, right? You're gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. Let's be real. That's the truth of the nature. So sex is voodoo. Why? Because if it can make you stay in a relationship where you know it's not correct, that should let you know the power of sex. That should really let you know the power of sex. Then to finish up this video, I'm going to talk about how to recognize sex is your influence within your relationship. Number one main thing to do, stop having sex. You see, when you're in a situationship and you want something and the person's not giving it to you, you need to understand that once you take away the sex, it will make you objective. It will make you understand where you stand. It will make them understand where they stand. And actually will make you eagle-eyed into seeing things for how they really truly are. Sex has got this ability to make the crappiest of painters into a Picasso. Okay, it's got the ability to make something so rubbish seem so great. It's got that ability. It adds that gloss finish to anything that it touches. And so what you have to understand is once you take the sex out of the game, the veils you're unveiled. Yeah, and you know you're removed from the ignorance and you're removed from the naivety that you were showing, and actually you can see the world for what it really is. Taking a blue pill, or should I say, taking a red pill, showing, not even a blue pill. You understand? So first thing to do, if you want to recognize within a situationship and it's because of the sex, is stop having sex. It's to observe the patterns of when you have sex, or even if you can, go back in your mind and retrace the steps. When were we having sex? Was it when we were meant to be speaking about a specific subject and I brought it up to him and he didn't want to talk about it, but then we ended up having sex and you forgot to bring it up to him again? Because it's like, oh, we've had such a great time, I don't want to ruin it now. Observe the patterns, baby. Also as well, when you stop having sex as well, watch their behavior towards you. Does it change? Does it change? How do you see them now? How do you really see them? Do they really love you? You sure? Or do they love you for what you're giving them? And the last point is, when you got to recognize something. When sex kills your argument or your point that you're bringing up here, for instance, like I just mentioned, when sex is used as a weapon, so that when you're bringing up complaints or when you're saying, look, when are we going to do this, and you have sex and then you feel like, oh, I don't want to bring it up anymore, that is what we call weaponizing. He's weaponized the sex so that it removes your ability to come to him with what you're about to speak to. And it's a very common trait that men do a lot of the time to kind of remove the power from you, to stop you from questioning what's going on. It's like sex has become this great distraction that enables somebody, almost like the magician's trick, that you're watching the hands and then suddenly boom, 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 out of nowhere, I've got something. How did I do that? There was a distraction. And that's what sex is. It becomes a distraction. And so it doesn't allow you to actually take in much of the details. And I've always said this about sex. I'll end on this last note, which is that if you're in a Ferrari driving at 120 miles per hour, if you look out the window, what details can you see? None. So all you see is a blur. So guess what? You got to slow the car all the way down, yeah, to a slow pace to be able to take in the details. When you take in the details, you realize some things are out of place. But if you're driving at a fast pace, you'll never understand why. You'll never be able to see what's actually happening. Do you get me? Yeah, man. And it's like when someone's looking from the outside in, we're not in the Ferrari with you. To you, time, space, everything like that is relative to what you're in that car. So when you're driving past, you're seeing blur. When I'm looking inside, I'm looking at you and I'm going, fam, because I'm outside of your time, I'm able to see the beginning and the end. And I'm looking at it going, that's not correct. That's not how it should be. Do you get me? So, guys, yeah, I wanted to end on that note. Situationship, sex is voodoo. Don't get sucked in, alright? Little black bug, you know what time it is. Yeah, cuz, listen, you ain't got the minerals. Who's Little black bug, you already know what time it is. Episode where we're talking about when your boyfriend puts okay at the end of a long text. What happens in that moment? Shorten it, that. But you've told me all your emotions and everything inside that. I'm just thinking about just putting it boom, 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 boom. That's what it is. It's short and concise, brother. Because time is money. Do you know what I'm saying? So sometimes if we do it that way, you're vexed. And if we're like, fam, I don't really want to reply to this message, you're vexed. If we reply with a long ass message, we know we're gonna get another long ass message. We're doomed if we will, we're doomed if we don't.